I killed a man with my bare hands last night. But it wasn't murder. It was justice served cold in a penthouse suite overlooking the Hudson. The body I inhabited wasn't mine. A stolen shell of tailored suits and Botox-smooth skin. But the rage pumping through its veins was pure Nova haze. The waitress who'd been erased from her own life. And as the sirens wailed closer, I whispered his real name into the cooling ear of Victor Hale, the billionaire who'd swapped our souls like counterfeit stocks. You should have burned that fake deed yourself. The rain hammered Fifth Avenue like God's own gavel, turning the sidewalks into slick black mirrors that reflected the chaos of umbrellas and honking taxis. I was Nova Hayes, 28, slinging overpriced eggs Benedict at Le Chat Noir, that pretentious bistro tucked between a Gucci flagship and a ghost of what used to be a Woolworth's. New York in 2025 wasn't the city that never sleeps anymore. It was the city that never shuts up, drones buzzing overhead with delivery ads, augmented reality billboards hawking neural implants for enhanced empathy, and billionaires like Victor Hale treating the streets like their personal monopoly board. I'd been waitressing since community college dropout days, dodging creeps who tipped in Bitcoin and compliments that tasted like stale coffee. That Tuesday shift was dragging like a bad hangover. The lunch rush had peaked with a gaggle of Wall Street wolves in crypto bro polos, barking orders for avocado toast while scrolling feeds about the latest SEC raid on meme stock pumpers. I weaved through the tables, notepad in one hand, a tray of mimosas in the other. My black skirt hiked just enough to earn the tips but not the HR call. Refills on the kale smoothies? I chirped, flashing the smile that paid my rent in a roach motel off Times Square. Then he walked in. Victor Hale. Not in person, not yet, but his shadow preceded him like a bad omen. His assistant, a rail-thin woman named Lydia with hair like spun glass and eyes like surveillance cams, swept the place like she owned it. Mr. Hale requires privacy for his meeting, she announced to the manager, slipping him $100 that vanished faster than my tips on payday. The back booth cleared out, velvet ropes up, and I got the nod to serve. Lucky me. Hale arrived in a convoy of black Escalades that idled curbside, exhaust fumes mingling with the steam from manhole covers. He was pushing 60 but looked 40, thanks to whatever black market stem cell cocktail the 1% chugged with their kale. Silver fox hair, jawline sharp as a hedge fund prospectus, and a suit that probably cost more than my annual wage. He slid into the booth, unfolding a leather portfolio with the delicacy of a surgeon prepping for a heart transplant. Black coffee, no sugar, and the check for authenticity on this. He slid a single sheet across the table, a yellowed parchment, edges frayed like it had been clawed from history's trash bin. The Declaration of Independence knockoff. Or so the rumors went. Priceless, Lydia had whispered to the manager. But priceless to who? Hale's eyes locked on mine as I poured, unblinking, like he was appraising a cut of meat. You're new here. 3 months, I said, keeping it light. Nova. What'll it be with the coffee? He ignored the menu, tapping the document instead. Ever seen something worth more than your wildest dreams? Nova? I glanced down. The ink was faded, script looping in that old-timey cursive, but something itched at the back of my brain. I'd minored in history before life derailed me. Dead mom, dead-end jobs, and fakes like this popped up in flea markets from Jersey to Queens. The paper grain was wrong. Too uniform, like it came off a high-end printer disguised as vellum. But I smiled, because, in this city, you don't call out the emperor's new clothes unless you're ready to eat pavement. Looks like a winner. Sir. Be right back with your order. The kitchen was a sweatbox. Steam from boiling pots fogging the air. Line cooks cursing in Spanglish over a jammed espresso machine. I ducked into the walk-in cooler for a breather. The document's image burned into my retinas. Google it quick on my phone. Hale's latest acquisition. The Hale Declaration, hyped in Forbes as a lost fragment from 1776. Valued at $50 million. Skeptics online called bullshit, citing ink analysis discrepancies. But Hale's lawyers had buried the debates under NDAs thicker than his wallet. Back out. I served his untouched plate of seared scallops, ironic, fishy as the provenance, and caught him murmuring to Lydia, "The swap's ready. Neural sync at the lab tonight. She'll take the fall. Perfect Patsy." Swap? My stomach twisted. Eavesdropping wasn't smart. But curiosity's a bitch in heels. The shift ended at 8. Rain still pissing down as I hustled to the subway. My phone buzzed, a text from Jax. My on-again boyfriend. The tattooed barista from the corner Starbucks who dreamed of indie bands and escape pods to Mars. Working late? Miss you. Dinner at mine. Jax was my anchor in this storm. The one who saw past the apron to the girl who'd once aced AP US history and wanted to curate exhibits. Not clear plates. But as the A train rattled toward Brooklyn, Hale's words gnawed. I shouldn't have. But I did, snapped a blurry pic of that document through the portfolio's gap, zoomed in on the watermark. Uploaded it to a dark web forum I knew from Jax's hacker buddies. Authentic? Or Billionaire'S fool's gold? By the time I crashed on Jax's futon, scrolling cat videos to unwind, the replies flooded. Inks post, 1900.
Retard.
Grain synthetic. Hale's grifting again. Grifting. Victor Hale, king of green energy scams and offshore tax havens, peddling a fake to the Smithsonian for a fat check. And me, just the waitress who'd seen too much. That night, dreams were jagged, parchment unrolling like a noose. Hale's laugh echoing off skyscrapers. I woke to Jax's arm around me, his breath whiskey warm. You okay, babe? Look like you saw a ghost. Worse, I muttered. A billionaire's lie. He chuckled, pulling me closer. Stick to tips. Nova. Those guys eat girls like us for breakfast. If only I'd listened. The next morning, the headline screamed, Hale forgery exposed, $50M scandal rocks art world. My forum post had leaked, virus style, to CNN. Twitter ablaze with Hale hoax. Le Chat Noir was a madhouse by noon, reporters sniffing for scoops. Manager frothing about lawsuits. Who the fuck talked, he bellowed. Eyes on me. I played dumb, but guilt twisted like a knife. Hale's convoy rolled up at 2. Lydia storming in like a fury. Nova Hayes? Mr. Hale wants a word. Now. They bundled me into the lead Escalade. Leather seats swallowing me whole. City blurring past tinted glass. We rocketed uptown to Hale Tower. That phallic spike of glass and steel piercing the clouds at 57th and Park. Elevators hummed to the penthouse. All marble and minimalist art that screamed, I have more money than taste. Hale waited in his office. A cavern of walnut panels and floor-to-ceiling windows framing the sprawl. The document sat under glass now, spotlit like a relic. You, he said, voice silk over razor wire. Have a keen eye. Miss Hayes. I stood tall, heart hammering. It was a fake. You know that. He smiled. Predatory. Astute. But exposure costs. My reputation, poof. Donors fleeing. Stocks tanking. All because a waitress played detective. Lydia flanked him, tablet glowing with my personnel file. Socials. Even Jax's arrest record for that dumb weed bust. We could ruin you, Hale continued.
Or elevate you.
Elevate? I laughed.
Bitter.
I'm not for sale. Not like that. His eyes gleamed. Fanatic. Ever heard of Project Echo? Neural transference. Body autonomy redefined. I swap with the dying, give them youth, vigor. Philanthropy. Darling. Bullshit. Rumors swirled in tabloids about Hale's immortality lab, underground tech poached from DARPA. What's that got to do with me? You take the heat. Sign a confession, say you forged it. Planted the leak for kicks. I make it worth your while. $5 million. New identity. The works.
Or
He tapped a screen. Footage rolling. Me snapping the pic. Timestamped. Prison. And your boyfriend? That little graffiti hobby of his? Felony time.
Jax.
The word lodged in my throat. Betrayal hit first. How'd they know? Then rage. This was America 2025. Justice for the rich. Scraps for the rest. You'd frame me for your scam? Details, he purred. Sign. And you're free. Refuse. And you're me, metaphorically. I signed. Pen shaking. The paper heavier than his fake. $5 mill wired by dawn. Jax and I plotting a vanishing act to Portland. Microbrews and no billionaires. But as the chopper whisked me back, Lydia's whisper lingered. The swap's tonight. Enjoy your last day as Nova.
Swap.
The word chilled. That night, Jax and I packed duffels in his loft, rain lashing the fire escape. This is insane, he said, zipping comics into a box. Hale's a snake. But 5 mil? We could. A knock. Not a knock, a breach. Black-clad goons in tactical vests flooded the room. Tasers crackling. Jax swung a lamp.
Took a zap to the neck.
I screamed, lunged, needle in my arm. World tilting to black. I woke strapped to a gurney in a sterile lab beneath Hale Tower. Fluorescent buzz drilling my skull. Masks hovered. IVs snaking into veins. Neural sync initiating. A voice droned. Echo protocol. Donor to recipient. Donor.
Me.
Hale's face loomed, grinning through surgical gauze. You'll thank me, Nova. In my body. You'll understand power. Panic surged, but straps bit deep. Machine's word. Electricity arcing like lightning in my nerves. Vision splintered, memories flashing. Hale's childhood in a Hamptons mansion. First stock trade at 12. The rush of boardroom conquests. Then pain, white hot. As if my soul was being vacuumed out. Darkness. Then light. I gasped. Lungs burning, not mine. Hands flexed. Manicured. Heavy with a Rolex that ticked like a bomb. Mirror across the room. Victor Hale's face stared back. Eyes wide in my terror. What the fuck? His voice boomed. Baritone thunder. Lydia unchained me. Smirking. Welcome to the top, Mr.
Hale.
But I wasn't him. I was Nova, trapped in a thief's skin. The real Victor's essence shunted into my body. Sedated in a holding cell below. The swap, his escape hatch. My frame job complete, I'd confess from his lips. While he, in mine, vanished into witness protection as the innocent waitress. Betrayal didn't cover it. This was erasure. The penthouse felt like a cage now. All that opulence mocking me from every polished surface. I, Nova in Victor Hale's body, paced the marble floors, the weight of his frame throwing off my balance, like wearing concrete boots to a ballet. His heart thudded steady in my chest, a traitor's rhythm, while my mind raced with escape routes that dissolved like sugar in rain. Downstairs, in the sublevels of Hale Tower, my real body lay comatose, pumped full of amnesiacs. Prepped to parrot a script, I faked the document. It was me all along. Lydia entered like a specter, iPad in hand, her loyalty to Hale, a chain I could almost feel. Sir, the press conference is in 2 hours. Our statements ready. Emphasize the betrayal by the disgruntled employee. I stopped, towering over her in this stolen height, and grabbed her wrist gentle, but firm enough to make her flinch. Cut the shit. Lydia. You knew. The swap, the frame, all of it. Her eyes flickered, calculation sharp as a stiletto. Mr.
Hale.
If you're disoriented from the sink, it's normal. Phantom echoes. Drink this. She pressed a vial into my palm, blue liquid, smelling of chemicals and lies. I knocked it away, glass shattering like my illusions. I'm not him. I'm Nova. And you're going down with him. She laughed, low and brittle, backing toward the door. Delusional side effect. Security. 2 bruisers in suits materialized. Tasers holstered but hands itching. I raised Hale's hands, diplomat's paws. Not my calloused waitress grips, and they hesitated. Power's currency. Even borrowed. Stand down, I growled, channeling every boardroom bluff I'd glimpsed in his memories. Lydia.
We talk.
Alone. They cleared out, door clicking shut. She crossed her arms. Armor up.
Fine.
Play pretend. What do you want? Truth. I sank into his leather throne, the city sprawling below like a conquered kingdom. Why me? Why not some intern? Some nobody without a conscience. You're perfect, she said, almost admiring. Working class. No family, your mom's OD hit was in the obit. Right? Jax is a liability. Easy to flip. And that eye for fakes? Poetic. Victor needed a vessel that could sell the confession without cracking. Vessel. Like I was a goddamn Uber for souls. Flashes from the sink hit me, Hale's secrets unspooling. The document wasn't just a forgery, it was bait. He'd faked it to launder money from a Ponzi scheme. $200 million funneled through art acquisition shells. The Smithsonian deal was the capstone. Tax write-off disguised as patriotism. And the real crime? A whistleblower, some ex-CFO named Ellis, had smelled the rat. Gone missing last month. Buried in a Jersey landfill. Hale's memories supplied the coordinates. Casual as a grocery list. You helped, I accused. The swap tech, DARPA Black Ops.
Right?
You ran the trials. Lydia's mask slipped. Just a hair. Victor's vision. Immortality for the deserving. I was his first swapped into this body from a cancer ward. 20 years young. Endless loyalty. Betrayal layered on betrayal. She wasn't just complicit. She was reborn in theft. And now? You prop up a corpse while he hides in mine. The protocol stabilizes, she snapped. Victor's essence will overwrite yours in days. Resist. And it accelerates, pain like fire in your synapses. I leaned forward, Hale's cologne wafting like accusation. Or I accelerate his downfall. Where's the real body? Secured. But touch it, and the fail-safe triggers, both heart stop. Bluff or truth? His memories whispered tech specs. Quantum entanglement. Souls linked like blockchain.
Kill one.
Kill both. Then we renegotiate. I stay in this skin. You get a cut. And we pin it all on Victor, the real one. Once he's awake in my old meat. Her laugh again, but edged with interest. Treason? Even for you. What's in it for me? Freedom. From him. You're not loyal, you're leashed. She paced. Heels clicking like a countdown. Press conference first. Sell the lie.
Then.
We talk terms. 2 hours later. I face the vultures in Hale Tower's atrium. Cameras flashing like strobe torture. Mics thrusting like bayonets.
CNN.
Fox. That podcaster with the man bun who screamed about deep state cabals. I stood at the podium. Script burning in my pocket. Nova's fire in Victor's throat. Ladies and gentlemen, I began. Voice steady as his was in mergers. A grave error has occurred. The Hale Declaration, my prized acquisition, is indeed a fabrication. Not by malice, but by a trusted employee seeking personal gain. Gasps rippled. Questions erupting. I held up a hand, Hale's imperious wave, and plunged on, ad-libbing the twist. Nova Hayes. My waitress at Le Chat Noir. Accessed confidential files. Motive? Revenge for a perceived slight. But I take responsibility. No charges. She'll receive help. Murmurs swelled. Controversial.
Yes.
Mercy from a mogul? The press aided. Headlines already brewing. Hale's grace. Billionaire forgives forger. But the real bomb. I'd slipped in Ellis's name. Casual as confetti. Like the tragic loss of my CFO. Marcus Ellis. May his insights rest in peace. Lydia's eyes widened from the wings, warning or wonder. As the scrum dispersed, she pulled me aside. Bold. Ellis's body hasn't surfaced. You're stirring ghosts.
Good, I said.
Let them haunt. Back in the penthouse. Jax's text lit my Hale's phone. Nova? Where are you? Cops here. Saying you confessed to fraud. WTF, babe.
Heart ache.
Not mine, but close enough. I typed back. Thumbs thick and unfamiliar. Trust me.
Coming for you.
Burn everything. Night fell. City lights winking like conspirators. I raided Hale's safe, biometric scan a joke with his prints, and pulled files, Echo Project blueprints. Swap logs dating to 2020. Victims, a senator in a starlet's body. A CEO puppeteering a homeless vet. Buried secrets, each a landmine. Lydia met me in the sublevel garage. Keys to a matte black Tesla dangling. Ellis's dump site, GPS set. But if Victor wakes early, he won't. I slid into the driver's seat. Engine purring like a panther. You're in or out. She climbed in.
Passenger side.
Face pale in the dash glow.
In.
For now. The drive to Jersey was a blur, turnpike tolls. Chemical plants belching steam under sodium lamps. Rain slicked the road. Wipers slashing like accusations. We pulled off at exit 12. Gravel crunching under tires. Into a weedy lot ringed by chain link and no trespassing signs. Flashlights cut the dark, a landfill stretch. Methane burps rising like specters. There, Lydia pointed. Voice tight. a mound of trash, tires and diapers peeking from black earth. We dug, shovels from the trunk, blisters blooming on Hale's soft palms. Plastic sheeting, then cloth, Ellis. Bloated but identifiable. Bullet hole neat in the forehead. Proof, I gasped. Phone camera clicking. Upload to the forum. Anonymous. Hale's real Priceless, a body. Echo murders. By dawn. Sirens wailed. Feds. Tipped by the leak. Hale tower swarmed. Lydia vanishing into the chaos like smoke. I watched from a safe house in Chelsea. Hale's Amex maxed on burners and bribes. Jax arrived by cab. Eyes wild. Duffel slung. Nova? That body, fuck. It's him. What happened? I pulled him close. His scent grounding me in this alien skin.
Swap. Frame.
Revenge starts now. He searched my eyes, Hale's eyes, and saw me. Then we burn it all. But as we plotted, hacking Hale's servers, rallying online sleuths, the sink itched. Whispers in my skull, Victor's voice. Faint. Probing. Fight it.
Puppet.
This skin's mine.
The war was on.
Chelsea's safe house was a walk-up in a brick tenement that smelled of curry and regret. The kind of place where neighbors blasted reggaeton at 3 a.m. and left passive-aggressive notes about recycling. Jax barricaded the door with a busted dresser, his tattooed arms flexing like they could hold back the world. Okay. Explain slow, he said, cracking a beer from the mini-fridge, Hale's mini-fridge, shipped overnight with the rest of the extraction kit. You're Nova.
But you're
him. And we're fugitives because a billionaire played Frankenstein. I paced the threadbare rug. Hale's loafers silent on the pile. My voice, his voice, grated. Too deep. Too commanding. Worse than Frankenstein. Echo's not sci-fi. It's black-budget biotech. Neural maps uploaded. Bodies hijacked. Hale's done it a dozen times. Power grabs. Dodging indictments.
me.
Collateral. The fake document was the hook, the swap, the hammer. Jax sank onto the sagging couch, head in hands.
And me?
They threatened to flip me, said they'd pin graffiti tags on me as extortion. Standard playbook. I sat beside him, awkward in this bulk, and took his hand. His fingers laced with mine, Hale's manicured claws, and for a second, it was us again, stolen kisses behind the bistro, dreams of a food truck empire slinging vegan tacos. But we're flipping the script. Alice's body? That's murder one. Feds are crawling Hale Tower now. My burner buzzed. Forum alert. Threads exploding. Echo swap trending. Skeptics turning sleuths with leaked blueprints. A whistleblower anon dropped cords for 2 more donors, a judge in a model's frame. Rotting in a Vegas motel. Controversial as hell. Was swapping theft or evolution? Twitter fights raged. Bioethicists versus transhumanists, with MAGA bots calling it elite body snatching socialism. But the itch grew. Victor's essence clawing at my edges. Flashes, his first kill. A rival exec suicided in the 90s crash. I shook it off, focusing on the plan.
We hit the lab.
Destroy the Echo core, quantum server in the tower basement. No core. No swaps. Jax eyed me. Wary. And your body? My Nova? Down there.
2.
Sedated. But alive. The thought twisted, seeing myself, vacant-eyed. A puppet waiting for strings. We moved at dusk, blending into the exodus of Hale employees fleeing subpoenas. I donned a hoodie over Hale's frame. Ridiculous. Like a bear in drag, but it hid the face on every feed. Jax hacked the service entrance with a RFID cloner from his basement buddies. And we slipped in, corridors humming with panic. Suits shredding docks in industrial shredders. Alarms blared midway, feds breaching the lobby. This way, I hissed. Hale's memories guiding like GPS. Service elevator to sublevel 4. The lab. A vault of white tile and humming cryotanks. Guards patrolled. But Jax's taser dropped one, the other I cold-cocked with a fire extinguisher. Hale's fist-cracking bone. Controversial? Hell yes, assault on private security. But self-defense in a soul theft op? The core room. A sphere of black glass. Pulsing blue veins of data. Consoles blinked with subject logs. Hale's empire of stolen lives. And there, my body. Nova's shell. Wired to monitors in a recliner. IV's dripping stabilizer. I approached. His heart, lurching. The face was mine. Freckles faint under fluorescence. Lips parted in drugged sleep. Nova, I whispered, brushing hair from her, my brow. A groan. Eyes fluttered. Victor's eyes in my face.
You. Bitch.
Get out of my head. He was surfacing. Sync fraying. I yanked in 4. Alarms shrieking. Not your head anymore. Nova's. Jax worked the console. Fingers flying. Firewall's a beast, DARPA grade. Need a minute. Victor's voice rasped from my lips, our lips. Kill him. The barista. Do it. And I let you stay. Temptation slithered. Dark and sweet. Power's whisper. Jax as dead weight. Hale's empire mine to wield. I glanced at him. Backlit by screens. Oblivious. Betrayal's seed. Planted deep.
No.
I smashed a panel. Sparks flying. Jax hooped as the core glitched. Blue light strobing erratic. But Victor laughed. Wet and triumphant. Too late. Failsafe primed.
You die.
She dies. My body rejects the intruder. Panic clawed. Jax grabbed my arm, Hale's arm. We gotta go. We bolted, dragging my body between us, dead weight. Literally, fire suppression foam billowing as sprinklers tripped. Up chutes. Through vents. Emerging in a loading dock amid chaos. FBI vans. Choppers thumping overhead. A shot rang, guard or fed. Pinging concrete. Jax shoved me forward, taking point with my limp form. Outside. Rain again, turning asphalt to oil-slick rivers. We piled into a stolen panel van. Jax hot-wiring with practiced ease. Hospital first, detox her. But as we peeled out, sirens converging. Victor's rage surged, migraine fire. Visions of his downfall, stocks cratering. Board ousting the imposter. I gripped the wheel. Knuckles white. Fighting the overwrite. Drive, I gasped to Jax. To the bridge. Brooklyn Bridge. That gothic span strung with lights like a noose at midnight. We ditched the van mid-span. Traffic halted by cop cars. My body slung over Jax's shoulder. What now? He yelled over horns.
Now.
I ended. I climbed the railing, wind whipping Hale's coat like flags of surrender. Below, East River churned black. Freighters ghosting under the moon. Victor's voice howled in my skull. Jump. And we're both free. Controversial choice. Suicide pact for stolen souls? Or murder? Dragging him down, Jax lunged, grabbing my sleeve. Nova.
No.
We fix this, stocks. Hackers. Something. But the sync peaked. Pain lancing like lightning. I teetered. Hale's memories flooding. A buried secret. Deeper than Ellis. The first swap wasn't philanthropy, it was revenge. Victor, young and hungry, swapped with his dying father to inherit early, dooming the old man to a vegetative husk. Power's original sin, mirrored in me. I know, I murmured to the voice. Your betrayal started it all. With a roar, I hurled Hale's phone, evidence trove, into the void. Splash lost in the gale. Then, decision, I jumped. Not death. Catharsis. The fall was seconds. Wind roaring. But at apex, I twisted, Hale's Rolex snagging a maintenance cable. Body jerking to a halt. Dangling. Rain lashed. I laughed, mad and free. Jax screamed from above, rappelling down with a stolen line. Feds swarmed the bridge. But we were ghosts, Nova's body stirring in the van. Victor's essence fracturing with the core's death. As dawn broke, pink over the skyline, I hung there, suspended between worlds, whispering, "Your move, old man." The war wasn't over. It was just beginning. The ER at Bellevue was a pressure cooker, gurneys stacked like cordwood, nurses barking orders in a babble of languages, the air thick with antiseptic and despair. Jax wheeled my body, Nova's shell, through the chaos. Fake ID from Hale's wallet smoothing the admit. Overdose. Possible assault. I followed at a distance. Hale's face a ghost in the fluorescent hell. Collar up against stairs. Whispers trailed. Isn't that Victor Hale? The swap scandal. Scandal didn't cover it. By morning, the course breach had unleashed hell, logs decrypted by white hat hackers. Victim testimonies pouring out like sewage from a busted pipe. Body thieves trended global. Protests clotting Times Square with signs. My skin. My soul and Hale's hell and echo now. Politicians flip-flopped. Promising hearings. Ethicists decried it as the ultimate inequality. Billionaires hoarding immortality while the poor rotted in welfare queues. Inside, doctors swarmed. Talk screens. Neural scans. Anomalous readings, one muttered. EEG spiking erratic. Victor's essence clung like tar. Fighting eviction. I bribed a resident. Hale's charm and cash a lethal combo for private access. Slipping into the bay as Jax stood guard. There I was, Nova haze. Tubes snaking. Monitors beeping a fragile rhythm. But eyes opened my eyes. Clouded with his fury. You think you've won? Victor's rasp from my throat. Weak but venomous. This body's mine now. Weak but malleable. I'll walk out, confess nothing, and hunt you down. I leaned close. Hale's breath ghosting my own cheek. Hunt, you're a squatter in a waitress's skin. No Rolodex. No jets. Just roaches and ramen. He strained against restraints, veins bulging.
Lies.
I built empires. You'll crumble in mine. The overwrite's inevitable. Flashes assaulted his contingency. A nanovirus in the sink. Programmed to erode intruders. Controversial truth. Had I chosen wrong? Staying in this body meant slow erasure. Becoming the monster I loathed. Jump from the bridge? Symbolic. But futile, the link held. Jax burst in. Face ashen. Cops outside. Feds want Hale for questioning. Your face. Nova. Our face. I corrected. Mind whirring. Decision loomed. Surrender this shell. Force a reverse swap? Risky, lab in ruins. Tech fried. Or ride it out. Wield Hale's power to dismantle his web. Get the crash cart, I told the doc. Voice brooking no argument. Defib at 200 joules.
Now.
What? Jax yelped. You'll kill. Trust. As pads slapped Nova's chest, my chest, Victor sneered.
Fool.
The virus protects me.
Clear.
Shock hit. Body arching like a bow. In my skull, Hale's skull, agony mirrored, his essence jolting loose. He screamed, a guttural wail from two throats. Then silence. Monitors flatlined. Then stuttered, Nova's heart. Solo now. Doctors piled on. CPR rhythmic. But I knew the virus targeted the host body, not the invader. Victor's scream faded to echo, expelled like a demon in some back-alley exorcism. Controversial as hell, endangering a patient to save a soul, but ethics bend for the betrayed. She gasped, eyes clearing green, mine untainted. Jax?
What?
Happened. He collapsed beside her, tears streaking. You're back.
Babe. God.
You're back. I watched from the shadows. Hale's hand on the curtain. A ghost in my own story. Reverse the swap? Not yet. Power hummed in this frame. Access to vaults. Ledgers. The strings of influence. Heal, I whispered. I'll fix the rest. Discharge was a circus. Media hounds at the doors. Feds flashing badges. I played Victor to the hilt. Limo waiting. Statement prepped. Personal health crisis. Echo project terminated. Full cooperation with authorities. Lies wrapped in truth. Buying time. Back at the tower, sealed now. But Hale's codes opened doors. I delved deep. Servers yielding dirt. Lydia surfaced via encrypted line. Voice tinny. The bodies, victims, are surfacing. Senate's calling hearings. You, Victor, I lied smooth. But Nova's essence lingers. Useful. She bought it. Spilling more, a black site in Nevada. Echo 2.0 clones, not swaps. The next frontier. Destroy it. Or join it. Betrayal's echo. Was she ally or viper? I greenlit a drone strike. Hale's contacts in private military. $10 mil wired anonymous. Feeds later showed flames licking desert sands. A pyre for stolen futures. Jax and Nova hold up in Portland by week's end. My jet ferrying them under assumed names. Video call from a rainy bungalow, her face healing. Bruises fading. Come home, she pleaded. This body's not you. It is now, I said, screen reflecting Hale's mask. Until it's not. Climax brewed in D.C., hearings under Klieg lights. Senators grilling empty chairs as I testified remote. Voice modulated. Echo was hubris. I intoned. Dropping docs, murders, launders.
Swaps.
Gasps. Gavels. Hale's empire crumbled, stocks to pennies. Assets seized. But Victor's ghost whispered still. Faint. You bear my sins now. The frame. The kill's yours. Guilt gnawed. Controversial weight. Was I avenger or inheritor? Decisions piled. Pardoning Lydia for testimony. Or letting her swing. I chose mercy. Her intel's sealing indictments. As snow dusted the Capitol, a package arrived at the safe house. Nova's locket. Mom's photo inside. And a note. Choose you. The twist loomed. Buried secret surfacing in a final log. The first swap? Not Hale's father.
Me.
Nova Hayes. Orphan not by OD, but engineered. Hale's half-sister. Body swapped at birth for a pure heir. Mom's accident. Cover for the lab fire that birthed Echo. Reverse truth. I wasn't victim. I was architect. Memories suppressed. Revenge? Self-reckoning. The revelation hit like a subway derailment, sudden. Screeching. Tracks of my life twisting into wreckage. I sat in the safe house's dim kitchen. Hale's laptop open to the encrypted log. Screen glow carving shadows on my face. Birth records falsified. Nova Hayes. Born 1997 in a clandestine wing of what became Hale Tower. Product of Victor's illicit affair with a lab tech. Mom didn't OD. She was retired, swapped into a junkie's shell and discarded. Her real mind rotting in Bellevue's forgotten ward. The locket? Hale's taunt. A child's toy from the nursery where they'd prepped me as spare parts. I wasn't just betrayed. I was built for it, the waitress Patsy. Eyes trained on fakes because blood called to blood. The document? My subconscious bait. Forum post-programmed, leaked to force his hand. Echo's core? Designed with my DNA. Rejection impossible. Victor hadn't stolen my body. I'd reclaimed his. The virus not a safeguard but a key. Unlocking the air. Jax's call buzzed through. Nova, Hale? Feds cleared her. We're packing for the coast. You coming? Her voice overlapped. Soft. Please. End this. End, or begin. Power thrummed. Hale Industries restructured under reformed Victor. Billions redirected to victim reparations. A Phoenix Act that headlines hailed as redemption. Controversial. Savior or serpent shedding skin. Protests raged outside the tower. Hale's halo or horns? Pitting survivors against shareholders. Ethics against expedience. Lydia met me in the boardroom. Gaunt in a power suit. Her swapped youth cracking at the seams. The logs, she said. No question. You know. I nodded. Settling into the head chair. City at my feet. Half-sister. Spare soul. Why hide it? Victor's fear. You were the pure vessel, unscarred by his sins. But curiosity killed, well, you know. She slid a vial across, the blue stabilizer. Antidote to the virus. Reverse the sync. Become Nova again.
Or stay.
Rule. Choice. The debatable fork. Reverse. And Hale's crimes mine alone, jail. Infamy. But freedom in my skin.
Stay.
And wield the empire for good. Fund swaps for the dying poor. Democratize immortality. But at what cost? Victor's whispers persisted. A chorus now. Blood rules. Betray them all. I palmed the vial. Standing at the window. Rain had cleared. Sun gilding the spires, New York. Eternal. Indifferent. Below. A rally swelled. Victims chanting. Signs like spears. Among them, Jax and Nova. Her hand in his. Tiny figures in the throng. Call them up, I told Lydia. One last meeting. The chopper touched down on the tower helipad at twilight. Rotors whipping confetti from the crowd. They emerged tentative, Jax wary. Nova fierce. Her bruises badges now. What is it? She asked. Wind-tossed hair framing eyes that mirrored mine. No. His truth. I led them inside. Vial burning in pocket. The boardroom vista. Bridges strung with lights. River of vein of silver. I'm not victim or villain. I'm Hale. Born to it. Words tumbled, logs. Lineage. The engineered betrayal. Nova's face crumpled, then hardened. So the revenge? Your loop. Closing on us. On me. I uncapped the vial. Blue liquid glinting. Reverse it. You get your body. I get mine, the waitress. The fall guy. Justice poetic. Jax stepped forward. Conflicted. Or don't. Use this. Fix what he broke. For her. For Mom. Controversial plea. Inherit the throne. Or abdicate to the pyre. Mom's ghost hovered. Her real mind. Trapped in a junkie's haze. A swap victim eyed unearthed in the files. Free her? Only from Hale's perch. The climax crested. Sirens again. Feds storming the lobby. Leaks eyed planted. Forcing the end. Time, Lydia urged. Guards fracturing loyalty. I drank. Fire raced veins. Sink unraveling in reverse. Victor's bulk shedding like fever sweat. Nova's lightness flooding back. Bodies blurred. Essences colliding in a maelstrom of memory. His conquests. My scrambles. Fused and freeing. We awoke swap true, me and my skin. Frail but mine. Victor and his. Vacant. Arrested on the floor. Feds burst in. Cuffs clicking. But I stood tall. Nova Hayes. Unbowed.
Take him.
The logs. Everything's yours. Jax hugged me fierce. Nova's echo in his grip. But as they led Victor away, eyes vacant. Soul shattered, his whisper lingered. You are me. The ending? Debatable as dawn. I walked free. Charges twisted to heroism. Whistleblower. Not thief. Portland with Jax. A food truck blooming with fusion bites. Normalcy's bomb. But power's taste lingers. Controversial itch. Rebuild Hale's empire clean. Or let it rot. Months on. A letter arrives, anonymous. Lydia's script. The spare key works. If you change your mind. Enclosed. A chip. Echo 2.0 blueprint. Clones waiting. I burn it. Or do I? That's the twist reversed. Victim becomes choice. In America, revenge isn't closure. It's the next deal. And I'm all in. Or out. Fade to rain on the coast. Mimosas steaming. Jax's laugh cutting the gray.
For now.
That's enough. But in the quiet, I wonder, whose skin am I wearing now?